crypto, politics, tech, and more. Get your daily news fix with news, crypto, politics, tech, and more. Get your daily news fix with News Source Scrawlers March 22, 2025 edition. Number 1 hit and more. YouTube Music Charts, Global Top Songs March 7 to March 13, 2025. Die with a Smile, Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars. APT, Rose and Bruno Mars. Like Jenny, Jenny. El Mayor de los Ranas, Victor Valverde and J.R. Torres. Spotify Weekly Top Songs Global. From the Friday, March 7 to Thursday, March 13, 2025. Die with a Smile, Lady Gaga, Bruno Mars. APT, Rose, Bruno Mars. Luther, with SZA, Kendrick Lamar, SZA. Birds of a Feather, Billie Eilish. Nintendo US Digital Bestsellers, from March 18, 2025. Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Overcooked. 2. Xenoblade Chronicles X, Definitive Edition. Super Mario Party Jamboree. Steam's Hottest Games. Global top-selling and top-played games across Steam. From the top 100 products by revenue list, for Tuesday, March 4, 2025 to Tuesday, March 11, 2025. Counter-Strike 2. Monster Hunter Wilds. Split Fiction. REPO. CISA's Cybersecurity Alerts and Advisories. CISA and partners release cybersecurity advisory on Medusa ransomware. One more drop in the ocean of AI. Sesame's CSM-1B, CSM, Conversational Speech Model, is a speech generation model from Sesame that generates RVQ audio codes from text and audio inputs. The model architecture employs a llama backbone and a smaller audio decoder that produces Mimi audio codes. 67,000 white South Africans have expressed interest in Trump's plan to give them refugee status. Trump says he's rescinding executive order targeting Paul Weiss after law firm agrees to drop DEI hiring practices. Trump's EPA moves to block state pesticide warnings. Trump aides circulate plan for complete revamp of foreign aid programs. IBM stock falls below key level on Accenture warning about slowing U.S. government tech spending. Trump to sign order aimed at dismantling Education Department, and Trump says the Education Department will shed oversight of student loans and special education. Mariah Carey scores victory in All I Want for Christmas Is You copyright lawsuit as judge dismisses case. Radiohead appear to confirm first tour in years after ticket donation sparks rumors. Apple TV Plus documentary claims rock legend Jim Morrison may be alive, living in Syracuse. Digital euro needed to counter stablecoins, non-European big tech, ECB chief economist says. In the U.S., Fed holds rates steady, cuts 2025 growth projection. Reportedly, Trump pressures Fed to cut rates to soften blow from tariffs. Proof of work crypto mining doesn't trigger securities laws, SEC says. Ford and N Plus unleash Bronco and Mustang-inspired e-bikes. LG's NFT marketplace for TVs is shutting down. Seed oil-free certified food label unveiled. Hegseth touts another $580 million in Doge-led Pentagon cuts. New York Times reports that Pentagon set up briefing for Musk on potential war with China. Bloomberg reported as Trump denies NYT report that Musk will be briefed on China war plans. Elon Musk threatens Pentagon leakers after NYT report on secret China war briefing. Pentagon to restore Navajo code talkers to website. White House blames AI for the removal. Rwanda-backed rebels make gains in DR Congo's mineral-rich east. At least 44 civilians killed in terrorist attack in western Niger. Netanyahu moves to dismiss domestic security chief over lack of trust. UK considers cutting tech tax for carve-out from Trump tariffs. US tariffs could cost Irish economy more than €18 billion in lost trade. UAE commits to $1.4 trillion US investment, White House says. Texas measles outbreak expected to last for months, though vaccinations are up from last year. Marylanders accused of witchcraft could be exonerated under proposed bill. Boxing heavyweight great George Foreman, who fought Muhammad Ali in the Rumble in the Jungle, dead at 76. Finland is again ranked the happiest country in the world. The US falls to its lowest ever position. Germany and Britain issue warnings about traveling to America, as the U.S. is increasingly searching electronic devices at the border. Trump to expand critical mineral output using wartime powers. Tesla owners are trading in their EVs at record levels, Edmunds says. Trump suggests sending Tesla vandals to El Salvador prisons. Judge blocks Doge from accessing Social Security data of millions of people. Apple streaming losses top $1 billion a year. Netflix confirms Willy Wonka competition series The Golden Ticket. NVIDIA and Google DeepMind will help power Disney's cute robots. DoorDash partners with Klarna to offer U.S. customers convenience with flexible payments when purchasing groceries, retail. Bloomberg comments as Gen Z's recipe for cheaper lattes, TikTok and instant coffee. Deutsche Bank plans to cut 2,000 jobs with significant branch reduction. Prince William wears battle gear on visit to British troops in Estonia. Trump says he would be happy for U.S. to become associate Commonwealth member. NATO to ask Europe and Canada for 30% boost in military capacity. Dolphins surround SpaceX capsule after ocean splashdown as NASA astronauts return to Earth. Iguanas likely crossed the Pacific millions of years ago on a record-setting rafting trip. Bonobo genius Kanzi, who could understand English and play Minecraft, dies at 44. Trump tally, J&J plans $55 billion investment to expand U.S. manufacturing. AstraZeneca investing $2.5 billion in China as drug maker seeks to recover from scandals. 4 months ago, a report finds China targeted AstraZeneca in fraud probe over cancer treatment. WHO calls for urgent action to address worldwide disruptions in tuberculosis services putting millions of lives at risk. U.S. to probe Chinese telecom groups it suspects of posing security risk, as U.S. FCC probing if Huawei, other Chinese firms are seeking to evade curbs. French regulator orders Eutelsat to stop broadcasting Russian channels linked to sanctioned entity. Comac ramps up challenge to Boeing and Airbus with plans to boost C919 production capacity. Medtronic earns U.S. FDA approval for the world's first adaptive deep brain stimulation system for people with Parkinson's. Bacteria F. prosnitzii potentially modulates the association between citrus intake and depression. Cannabis users face substantially higher risk of heart attack, as researchers found that cannabis users younger than age 50 were over 6 times as likely to suffer a heart attack compared to non-users. NVIDIA to build accelerated quantum computing research center. Tencent slows pace of GPU rollout as DeepSeek helps it wring more performance from fewer accelerators. Cloudflare announce AI Labyrinth, a new mitigation approach that uses AI-generated content to slow down, confuse, and waste the resources of AI crawlers and other bots that don't respect no-crawl directives. Severance renewed for Season 3 at Apple. Split fiction movie in the works, bidding war begins for rights to adapt hit video game. Scientists create new map showing ice-free Antarctica in more detail than ever before. Evidence mounts that universe's dark energy is changing over time. Oxygen detected in the most distant galaxy ever found. Conor McGregor announces run for Irish presidency on anti-immigration platform. Bloomberg reports that crypto exchanges India comeback as regulators tease pivot. Coinbase is in advanced talks to buy derivatives venue Deribit. U.S. Treasury removes sanctions on Tornado Cash after appellate court loss. Google claims news is worthless to its ad business after test involving 1% of search results in 8 EU markets. Meta spotted testing AI-generated comments on Instagram. Apple sued for false advertising over Apple Intelligence. World's longest-standing Michelin-starred restaurant loses a star. Lost Klimt portrait of African prince resurfaces at art fair. A Chicago-sized iceberg broke off from Antarctica, revealing a hidden ecosystem never seen before. And Korea ramps up cyber offensive, new research center to focus on AI-powered hacking. China unveils a powerful deep-sea cable cutter, reportedly could reset the world order. Trump touts Boeing as builder of Air Force's future F-47 fighter. Joint studies from OpenAI and MIT found links between loneliness and ChatGPT use. Wired declares 47% of Medium content as AI slop. Originality AI announces over 40% of Facebook posts are likely AI-generated. In the U.S., Section 230 may finally get changed as lawmakers prep new bill, which is about when harmful speech takes place. It's the speaker that should be held responsible, not the service that hosts the speech. X sues India over content removal in new censorship fight. Italy demands Google poison DNS under strict Piracy Shield law. Google finds 10,000 fake listings on Google Maps, sues alleged network of scammers. Spotify is blocking porn that rises to top of podcasts. Perplexity wants to buy TikTok and open source its algorithm, as Perplexity AI says it would rebuild TikTok's algorithm and add community notes features. Trump revokes security clearances for Biden, Harris, Clinton, and other enemies. Under threat from Trump, Columbia University agrees to policy changes. New York Times reports that, decades ago, Columbia refused to pay Trump $400 million. Trump admin threatens to stop Social Security if Doge can't have personal data. In the U.S., Homeland Security revokes temporary status for 532,000 Cubans, Haitians, Nicaraguans, and Venezuelans. At least 8,938 people died on migration routes worldwide in 2024, as the 2024 is deadliest year on record for migrants, UNSIOM data reveals. Tunisian president sacks prime minister amid economic and migration crisis. Elon Musk received court summons in SEC suit over failure to properly disclose Twitter stake. U.S. Commerce Secretary Lutnick urges Fox News viewers to buy Tesla stock, raising ethics questions. Elon Musk tells Tesla employees hang on to your stock, urges vandals to stop being psycho. U.S. imposes travel ban on former Argentine president over corruption charges. FCC's CAR threatens to block M&A for companies with DEI. Boxing will be included on the sports program of the Olympic Games Los Angeles 2028. Incoming IOC president to open talks on Russia's potential return to Olympics. ESA Aerospace receives NCAA permit for launch and is ready for first test flight, and first flight of an orbital launch vehicle from continental Europe. It has been commented that China is building new ships at record pace to turbocharge its car exports, as China's 8,600 car carrier sets construction speed record. 1 year ago, China's EV makers order record number of ships to support car exports. World's first hydrogen-powered vending machine unveiled by Coca-Cola at Osaka Kansai Expo.
Crypto, politics, tech, and more. Get your daily news fix with NewsSource Crawler's March 16, 2025 edition. Number 1 hit and more. YouTube Music Charts, Global Top Songs February 28 to March 6, 2025. APT, Rose and Bruno Mars. Die with a Smile, Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars. El Mayor de los Ranas, Victor Valverde and Jair Torres. AJ Key Rat, Madhubanti Bagchi, Divya. Spotify Weekly Top Songs Global. From the Friday, February 28 to Thursday, March 6, 2025. Die with a Smile, Lady Gaga, Bruno Mars. APT Rose, Bruno Mars. Luther, with SZA, Kendrick Lamar, SZA. Birds of a Feather, Billie Eilish. Nintendo US Digital Best Sellers, from March 10, 2025. Super Mario Party Jamboree. Minecraft. Overcooked. 2. Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Steam's hottest games. Global top selling and top played games across Steam. From the top 100 products by revenue list, for Tuesday, February 25, 2025 to Tuesday, March 4, 2025. Monster Hunter Wilds. Counter-Strike 2. PUBG, Battlegrounds. REPO. CIS's cybersecurity alerts and advisories. FBI warns of data extortion scam targeting corporate executives. One more drop in the ocean of AI. Electric Alexis Notogen. Notogen is a symbolic music generation model that explores the potential of producing high-quality classical sheet music. Inspired by the success of large language models, LLMs, Notogen adopts a three-stage training paradigm: pre-training on 1.6M musical pieces, fine-tuning on 9K classical compositions with period composer instrumentation prompts, reinforcement learning using our novel SELA MPDPO method, no human annotations or predefined rewards required. A river died overnight in Zambia after an acidic waste spill at a Chinese-owned mine, as Chinese mine causes environmental disaster in Zambia on the Kafue River. Gold's price surge drives narcos into illegal mining in the Amazon. Mexicans seek answers after bones, shoes found at cartel camp. Ted Lasso renewed for Season 4, Jason Sudeikis returning. Netflix's most expensive movie ever, The Electric State, is a dumb, unfunny $320 million flop. A documentary analyzes Street Fighter II's cultural impact, 30-plus years later. NASA analysis shows unexpected amount of sea level rise in 2024. Melting Antarctic ice sheets will slow Earth's strongest ocean current, and Earth's strongest ocean current could slow down by 20% by 2050 in a high-emissions future. At least 32 dead as tornadoes sweep through parts of U.S. Trump pledges to expose his enemies in political speech at Justice Department, and Donald Trump, in DOJ speech, calls CNN and MSNBC illegal for reporting negatively on him. Trump invokes 18th century law to speed deportations. Judge stalls it hours later, as the White House announced invocation of the Alien Enemies Act regarding the invasion of the United States by Tren de Aragua. Trump revokes nearly 20 executive orders issued by Biden administration. Justice Department is investigating bringing terrorism charges against pro-Palestinian protesters at Columbia University. In the U.S., over 50 universities are under investigation as part of Trump's anti-DEI crackdown. Woman who protested at Columbia University arrested for immigration violations as another self-deports, DHS says. Ukraine's Zelensky says there is now a good chance to end war, and after Trump request, Putin says he will let Ukraine troops in Kursk leave if they surrender. Zelensky says no encirclement of Ukrainian troops in Russia's Kursk region, accusing Putin of lying. Trump says he was being a bit sarcastic when he promised to end Russia-Ukraine war in 24 hours. Germans reach deal to spend big on defense, climate and more. New scientist comment as AI scientists are skeptical that modern models will lead to AGI. World's first AI-generated paper by Japanese startup Sakana passes peer review. ChatGPT perceived as more empathetic than human crisis responders in experiments. Foxconn backs AI servers after profit drop, and Foxconn forecasts strong 2025 growth on AI server demand. JP Morgan engineers efficiency jumps as much as 20% from using coding assistant. TechCrunch comments as, no one knows what the hell an AI agent is. Amazon is ending the option to not send Echo voice recordings to the cloud, as everything you say to your Echo will be sent to Amazon starting on March 28. China's Baidu releases new, free AI model to compete with DeepSeek. Sesame, the startup behind the viral virtual assistant Maya, releases its base AI model. China requires labeling of AI-generated online content. Will Smith to release first full-length album in over 20 years, based on a true story set for March 2025 release. Starship Troopers reboot in the works at Sony, Neil Blomkamp attached to direct new adaptation of sci-fi novel. Stephen Curry becomes first NBA player to reach 4,000 three-pointers. In the U.S., housing market squeeze, as income needed to buy typical U.S. home up 79% in 5 years. Bloomberg reports, Gen Z Americans don't have enough saved to cover a single month of spending. In the U.S., $12.5 billion reported lost to scams and fraud in 2024, older adults hit hard. SpaceX will send 5 uncrewed starships to Mars by 2026, crewed missions to follow. Blue Ghost captures total lunar eclipse from the moon. Are we inside a black hole? Wonky galaxy movements suggest it's possible, physicist says, as puzzling observation by JWST show galaxies in the deep universe rotate in the same direction. Rubio declares South African ambassador to U.S. persona non grata over Trump comments, as U.S. expels South African ambassador, saying he hates Trump. EU delists Russian oligarchs after sanctions pressure from Hungary and Slovakia. China's fiery criticism of Panama port deal puts pressure on Li Ka-shing family. Chinese scientists turn E. coli into a photosynthetic life form. MIT engineers turn skin cells directly into neurons for cell therapy. Spraying of water microdroplets forms luminescence and causes chemical reactions in surrounding gas, and tiny microlightning flashes inside water droplets may have sparked life on Earth. RCS update adds end-to-end encryption. Google and Apple confirm support, as Apple will soon support encrypted RCS messaging with Android users. World's first operating system for quantum network unveiled an internet breakthrough, as QNodeOS claims to be the first operating system for quantum networks, paving the way for future quantum applications. Chinese team officially report on Zhukongzi 3.0, claims million times speedup over Google's Sycamore. U.S. targets 41 countries for travel curbs ranging from Iran to Pakistan, as per a memo. In the U.S., State Department imposes sanctions on Thai officials after Uyghur men are deported to China. Bill to block Chinese student visas is introduced in U.S. Congress. China vows to spend more on heavy task of creating jobs. HK set to remove storage limit for embryos, gametes. Wind and solar overtake coal power for first time in U.S. China's observatory in Chile in doubt as U.S. raises concerns about potential military use. China's homegrown beef cattle breed to make global debut, as China spent 43 years engineering the perfect cattle, and Laos deal marks its first export. Vietnam regulator proposes approval of Chinese Comac jets, documents show. In Japan, top court paves way to dissolve Unification Church. Indonesia begins debate on allowing soldiers to take civilian posts. Cloudflare's CAPTCHA platform appears to block niche browsers such as Pale Moon. Joby will launch UK air taxi service with Virgin Atlantic. Tesla plans cheaper Model Y, self-driving upgrade to put brakes on China sales slide. Waymo was slapped with nearly 600 parking tickets last year in SF alone. U.S. Weather Agency job cuts could jeopardize climate risk data, insurers warn. VOA journalists put on administrative leave after Trump axes parent agency, and Voice of America ending contracts with Associated Press, Reuters and Agence France-Presse. Vance expects a high-level TikTok deal by the April 5 deadline. Bloomberg comments as AI fever sweeps China's political huddle, fueling tech optimism, and reportedly DeepSeek, a national treasure in China, is now being closely guarded. In the U.S., House GOP subpoenas big tech for evidence that Biden made AI woke. FBI, CISA warn 1.8 B Gmail accounts at risk from Medusa ransomware. Watching nature scenes can reduce pain, neuroimaging study shows. Lower waist-to-hip ratio in midlife linked to longer-lasting cognitive function. Short-term dietary changes can lead to obesity, shows research. Delivery driver severely burned by hot tea at Starbucks awarded $50 million by LA jury. SpaceX, actually, dying Starlink satellites don't always fully burn up. Sweden's Klarna discloses 24% revenue surge in much-awaited U.S. IPO filing. ISIS chief in Iraq and Syria has been killed, Iraqi Prime Minister says. U.S. launches major airstrikes on Houthi targets in Yemen, at least 9 killed, as Trump announces decisive and powerful strikes on Yemen's Houthis. Hell will rain down upon you. Acute malnutrition has doubled in 1 month in the north of Gaza Strip, UNICEF. Nationwide protests planned after arrest of former Columbia University activist by immigration authorities. Hamas says it will only release American-Israeli hostage if ceasefire deal is implemented, as Israel keeps up attacks in Gaza despite truce. Pro-Israel group says it has deportation list and has sent thousands of names to Trump officials. 21 shares to liquidate 2 Bitcoin and Ether futures ETFs amid market downturn. Block bets on lending expansion after stock slump. 1 month ago Reuters reports that Block shares drop as spending slowdown puts BNPL expansion in focus. Trump could be a catalyst for a global pro-crypto shift, Binance CEO says. Crypto password cracking firm unciphered in turmoil over co-founder's controversial past. Dual Russian and Israeli national extradited to the United States for his role in the Lockbit ransomware conspiracy. Pirate Bay financier and far-right activist Carl Lundstrom dies in plane crash. EU to invest $5 billion in South Africa after US aid withdrawal. The Atlantic comments as, in the US, Democrats have a man problem. In the US, from airports to mentorship programs, local funding disappears in budget.